I would never want to cut off a mayor, and the time did so. We have a mayor from Arkansas here. David, get to your point, my friend. Go right ahead.
Well, Mark, I appreciate it. I just have to say that I agree with you. The Republican leadership has to take the first step, and $60 billion is a joke. It's a drop in the bucket, and $100 billion is a joke. We have to cut spending. These spendthrifts up there that have been there forever, some of them 20, 30 years, and this is their way of life. It's time for those fellas to go. I've been Republican my whole life. Yes, I'll admit I voted for our Democratic governor, Mike Beebe. He's a friend of ours. He's not like any Democrat I know, and he has done a great job for the state of Arkansas. He is the highest-rated governor in the entire country by its people. But
highest rated for what?
I have to say that by the people in Arkansas, he has the highest approval rating.
All I know about Beebe, I had a BB gun. That's about it. Go right ahead.
Well, Mike Beebe's a very good governor, and what I'm saying is these Republicans, everybody can say that Obama has to start making some spending cuts, but I'm saying the Republican leadership, they have to get the message the same as Obama and the Democrats.
David, Mayor David, here's the problem.
These people were sent there to make cuts in November.
Exactly. Mayor David, they've already basically have so compromised themselves by the amount of money they're talking about on the table that it is really difficult to believe.
Yeah.
And they have not even spoken to the American people in any effective way. Running on 60 Minutes, hold on now, running on 60 Minutes to have a kiss-up interview and stuff like that. And no, you've got to get out there and you've got to explain, and not just in the same sentence, our children and grandchildren, the dire circumstances we face and what it is you're trying to save.
Yeah.
These guys will go through their laundry list of programs and they'll bring up this and bring up that. Well, guess what? We're trying to save families. We're trying to save the next generation. We're trying to save the currency. We're trying to stop the red Chinese from buying up the country through our debt situation. We're trying to prevent monetizing the debt. Things that can be explained in plain English. We have the case. It's on our side. We're the winners.
And you know what they say, Mark, is that common sense is not so common anymore. I firmly believe that. I'm 48 years old. I grew up with the fear of nuclear war in the 70s, and thank God, for Ronald Reagan spending Russia into bankruptcy, because that was a fear all my life. But I have to tell you, I never in my entire life thought that this country would be on the brink of financial collapse, and in fact, on paper, bankrupt. It makes no sense whatsoever to the common man who has to balance his checkbook, who cannot spend more than he takes in. Yes, he can put it on the credit card, but eventually the cows come home and you have to pay that bill eventually, whether you have to go get a loan and pay off your credit card or whatever. But these people that have been up there forever and just spend. When I saw last night on Hannity that the 07 budget deficit for the entire year of 07 was a little over $100 billion. And just in February, the budget deficit was over $200 billion for 1 month. That's when it completely hit me between the eyes that, my gosh, what are these people thinking?
Yeah.
They
All right,
have
Mayor.
to cut everything everything that's
Hold on, Mayor. You're not going to reveal your last name, are you?
I don't mind. My name's Mayor David Allen. I live in a small town in Salem Springs, Arkansas, and I was raised Republican.
Well, what am I going to get the key to the town?
But I have.
Hold on now. Hold on, David. Why am I going to get a key to your town?
I don't even have the key to that. I tell you what I told somebody. If I got a key to the town, I would go and try to turn it, and they would have changed the locks on me.
Well, it's funny because I never understood this key to the town stuff. Is there some door you're going through?
It's kind of a symbolic thing. We've never done it around here. But I got to tell you, Mark, in terms of support, I think one of the hugest problems in this country is the way Republicans and Democrats in Washington have pitted us all against each other. They are the problem, not Americans in general. And my parents raised me that you vote for the person. All
right, Mayor. God bless you. We appreciate it. All right. Now I want to lurch in another direction. We have National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting System, better known as government-run media. And, of course, the government will protect. Why do you think the government protects NPR and PBS? Why do you think? Because NPR and PBS promote the government's position, the liberal administration's position. That's why. Do you think if NPR and PBS were even modestly conservative or modestly had two views or more than one view, that they'd be supported by the liberals? Of course not. Ron Schiller, you may or may not have heard of this. He was National Public Radio senior exec at the time of this video, I believe he was. Project Veritas. Is that how you pronounce it, Mr. Producer? Veritas, sorry. I misspelled it when I wrote it down. Veritas. James O'Keefe's website. We give a hat tip in each instance to this. Here we have Ron Schiller, NPR senior executive at the time. James O'Keefe in a hidden video. Now, keep in mind, this guy at the time was being paid for by you. The whole entity's being paid for by you. And look how this guy hates you. Cut one, go.
I think what we all believe is that if we don't have Muslim voices in our schools, on the air, it's the same thing that we faced, as a nation when we didn't have female voices. The current Republican Party, particularly the Tea Party, is fanatically involved in people's personal lives and very fundamental Christian, and I wouldn't even call it Christian. It's this weird evangelical kind of move. The current Republican Party is not really the Republican Party, but it's been hijacked by this.
All right, let's stop. It's giving me a headache. Here, the bottom line is I didn't set this up properly. O'Keefe goes in there and claims to represent this Muslim organization that wants to give a lot of money to NPR. And Schiller is their senior VP at the time, senior executive, for fundraising, among other things. And he's trying to pander to the group, or to O'Keefe. He says, I think what we all believe is that if we don't have Muslim voices in our schools on the air, it's the same thing we faced as a nation when we didn't have female voices. The current oh yeah, that's a good comparison. The current Republican Party, particularly the Tea Party, is fanatically involved in people's personal lives. Are you, folks? And very fundamental Christian. And I wouldn't even call it Christian. It's this weird evangelical kind of move. The Republican Party is not the Republican Party. It's been hijacked by this group. Schiller, a man posing as Amir Malik with the Muslim Brotherhood Front Group, the radical Islamophobe Tea Party people. Schiller, not just Islamophobic, but really xenophobic. I mean, basically they believe in the sort of white, middle America gun-toting. I mean, it's scary. They're seriously racist people. So there you have a former senior executive, at the time he was one, with NPR talking about many of you. And people talk this way about the Tea Party, about conservative politicians, conservative talk show hosts, like it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It's outrageous. Then we have Schiller, in a hidden video by James O'Keefe, talking about libs are more educated and fair than conservatives. He says, now I'll talk personally as opposed to wearing my NPR hat. Feels to me as though there is a real anti-intellectual move on the part of a significant part of the Republican Party. He says, in my personal opinion, liberals might be more educated, fair, and balanced than conservatives. Then why are liberals so damn stupid if they're so intelligent? You get my point? Why do they take society and throw it overboard if they're so damn smart? Further into this, let's see here. He says, now remember, a man posing as Emir. Well, let's try cut 5. Let's see if that can be heard okay, because this is a real keeper. It's another one about the Jews. And I'm sure the Southern Poverty Law Center will put NPR on its list of watch groups to be watched for its bigotry. Cut 5, go.
To the extent to which the Jews do kind of control the media. I mean, or at least certainly the Zionists and the people who have the interest in swaying media coverage toward in the favorable direction of Israel. We're not too upset about maybe a little bit less Jewish influence of Jewish money in NPR, but Zionist coverage is quite substantial elsewhere. But
I don't actually find it NPR.
What exactly?
The Zionist or pro-Israel even among funders.
Nobody really.
No. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously. But no one owns NPR.
You believe this? He says the extent to which Jews do kind of control the media, I mean, certainly the Zionists and the people who have the interest in swaying media coverage toward a favorable direction of Israel. Boy, and how's that going? I'm not too upset about maybe a little bit less Jew influence of Jewish money in NPR. The Zionist coverage is quite substantial elsewhere, but I don't really find it at NPR. Oh, the Jew influence isn't at NPR, huh? The Zionists, and O'Keefe asked, well, what exactly? In other words, what are you talking about? The Zionists are pro-Israel, even among funders. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously, but no one owns NPR, so actually I don't find it. Do I have this right, Mr. Producer? Oh, I see. Oh, well, let me get that straight. So the guy posing as the Muslim Brotherhood front group is talking about the Jews. And then Schiller adds in at the end, the Zionists are pro-Israel even among funders. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously, but no one owns NPR, so actually I don't find it. That's what Schiller said. Well, that's not much better, is it, Mr. Producer? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your tax dollars are really going to good work. The Cowboy Poetry Festival, and the more we look into these things, NPR... Don't worry, where the Jew influence doesn't exist. And they're proud of it. Unbelievable. Yes, well, I wonder how much we paid this guy over time. Now, Vivian Schiller, unrelated to this Schiller, she's the National Public Radio president and CEO at the National Press Club yesterday. Hat tip CNS News, just to show you what a cesspool it is in government-run broadcasting. Here she is, cut 6, go.
We get a tremendous amount of criticism for being too conservative as well.
Oh, stop. Oh, no, that's funny. Yes, we know of all the conservative shows. You know who they have as a conservative there every now and then? David Brooks. It's like the New York Times has Ross Douthat and David Brooks. They're conservatives. Who's that, Mark? Exactly. Go ahead.
We get a tremendous amount of criticism for being too conservative as well. I would wish that those folks could be in our editorial meetings and see what goes on and the care that our reporters and our journalists and our editors take.
Stop.
To get it.
Mr. Producer, I want you to call Vivian Schiller at NPR. She said, I wish that those folks could be in our editorial meetings and see what goes on. I'm offering to go into their editorial meetings. Would you let her know? I'm serious. Call them tomorrow. Say, you said you wish that those folks could be in our editorial meetings and see what goes on and the care that our reporters and journalists and editors take to get it right. I want to see, because they say there's no Jew influence, quote unquote, over there at the National Public Radio or the rest of the government-run broadcasting. I just want to be sure. I don't know about the Zionists. As Schiller said, the Zionists are pro-Israel even among funders. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously, but no one owns NPR, so actually I don't find it there. So it's a clean place. We'll be right back.